Hello, hello. This is Mrs. Gervasio here with Tuesday's homework. Okay, be sure to watch and re-watch the tutorial. Pause for the practice problems and of course come back and check and see how you did. Complete the homework at the end of the tutorial and of course show all of your work.
How can I classify these quadrilaterals? In this lesson, you will learn to classify and compare quadrilaterals by their properties. Let's review. What attributes or properties do these shapes share? They all have 4 sides and 4 angles. They're all called quadrilaterals. These shapes have 2 pairs of parallel sides, or in other words, their opposite sides are parallel. Parallel means that if the 2 sides extended out forever, they would never intersect. We call these quadrilaterals parallelograms. Quadrilaterals with 1 pair of parallel sides are called trapezoids. Let's compare these 2 types of quadrilaterals. They share properties that make them quadrilaterals. They both have 4 sides and 4 angles. Let's take a look at their differences. Trapezoids have at least 1 pair of sides that are parallel. Parallelograms must have opposite sides parallel, or 2 pairs of parallel sides. Trapezoids do not have to have opposite sides congruent. Parallelograms do have to have opposite sides congruent. Trapezoids don't necessarily have opposite angles that are congruent or the same measurement. Parallelograms will always have opposite angles congruent. Some quadrilaterals do not have any parallel sides and do not fit into any of the subcategories of parallelograms or trapezoids. These 2 shapes are examples of quadrilaterals with no parallel lines. Notice that the lines intersect. We simply call these quadrilaterals. In this picture of quadrilaterals, you can see 2 shapes that do not have the same properties as the other parallelograms. Let's take a closer look at the 2 figures that are circled. They do not have parallel sides and are a special kind of quadrilateral. These quadrilaterals are called kites. Kites do not have any parallel sides, so they are not parallelograms, and they're not trapezoids either. Though a kite does not fit the other subcategories of quadrilaterals, it is important to remember that it is a quadrilateral, as well as a polygon. It's a special type of quadrilateral that has its own properties. It's actually like a kite that you would fly on a windy day. Kites have congruent adjacent sides. The blue arc marks 2 congruent sides that are adjacent. Adjacent means they're next to each other. The green arcs mark the other 2 congruent adjacent sides. Let's use the mathematical symbols to show the adjacent sides are congruent. In this lesson, you have learned to classify and compare quadrilaterals by their attributes. What do these shapes have in common? In this lesson, you will learn to compare and analyze triangles by their sides. Let's review. What do you notice that all of these shapes have in common? They are all polygons. They're also all triangles, and triangles share the common attributes or properties of having 3 sides and 3 angles. Many of these triangles share attributes with each other, but the only attributes that all of these share are 3 sides and 3 angles. What attributes do these triangles share? 3 sides, and all of them have 3 sides that are equal in length or congruent. What do we mean by congruent sides? Congruent sides mean that all 3 sides are equal length if we measure them with a ruler. You can see that all 3 sides are the same length, 5 inches. We call these triangles equilateral triangles. All of these equilateral triangles have congruent sides. We use tick marks to show that the sides are equal. What common attributes do these shapes have? 3 sides, and all of their side lengths are different. They are not congruent. These are scalene triangles because their sides are different lengths. If we measured the sides of this triangle with a ruler, we would find that all 3 sides are different lengths. And we use tick marks to show that each side is a different length. What common attributes do these shapes have? 3 sides. 2 of their sides are congruent. These triangles are isosceles triangles because they have 2 sides that are congruent. If we measured the sides of an isosceles triangle, we would find that 2 of the 3 sides are the same length. Notice that we use matching tick marks to show the 2 congruent sides of the isosceles triangle. All triangles share the attribute of having 3 sides. Let's try placing triangles into subcategories by their sides. What do these triangles have in common? They have 2 sides that are the same length. They are isosceles. These triangles have 3 congruent sides. They are equilateral. And these triangles all have different length sides. They are scalene triangles. It's important to realize that none of these triangles could be put in more than one subcategory when we categorize them by their sides. Each of the subcategories are separate with no overlap between the 3. All of these triangles fit into the category of polygons, and all triangles fit into the subcategory of triangles. For example, this triangle is an isosceles triangle, and it's also a polygon. In this lesson, you have learned to compare and analyze triangles by their sides.
Okay, and here is the part of the homework that you need to actually bring into class tomorrow. Oh, that's okay. It's not very many problems at all. All right, I want you to look at each triangle and write down what each triangle is. What is the name of each of these triangles? You're going to do the same thing for these quadrilaterals. You're going to write down what the names of each of these quadrilaterals are. And answer these 2 questions. Which is not a quadrilateral? A, rhombus, B, rectangle, C, right triangle, D, trapezoid. And which is a triangle with 1 right angle? A, equilateral triangle, B, obtuse triangle, C, right triangle. And there you have it. There was your homework for tonight. Any problems, make sure to talk to me tomorrow. All right? That's it. I hope you have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.